when you talk about how to convince other people about the safety and reliability of something, um, I will tell you what happened on COTS, and that's just an example. It doesn't mean what we did on COTS is going to work for everything, but I would say that the way we made most of our progress with COTS was because it was small and because it was sort of outside of the critical path of what overall NASA was doing at the time, which was the Constellation program. It didn't attract a lot of attention. It didn't get a lot of scrutiny from some of the other technical authorities, not as much as sort of the inline NASA programs were getting. So to be honest, from my perspective, and everyone's going to have a different perspective, I'm not sure if we ever convinced a lot of those other groups that we were going to be successful or that that we had the right approach. I think had some of those other groups provided significant scrutiny at the time, I don't think COTS would have been able to play out like it played out. We would have had to have made some adjustments. So the fact that it was seemingly sort of separate from what the inline main NASA focus was at the time, they were able to experiment to some extent and do things a little bit differently. You didn't necessarily have to convince everybody that we were on the right approach. They were willing to let NASA and the mission directorate at that time sort of do this experiment and see how it played out. So I'm not sure if I ever came up with, or we ever came up with the magic words to convince everybody. It was small enough, and it wasn't necessarily on the critical path, so that we were given some flexibility in how we executed the program. And that turned out to be, I think, one of the critical factors of its success.